Hello and welcome to this video about web scraping and updating KSU Scrape. We are in the lucky position at this moment of being able to analyze how to shift code to meet a changed website's requirements. In particular, if I scroll over for a second and you take a look, you'll see there was news in August 1, 2022 that Kennesaw State University redesigned its website, and as a result the web scraping example that I had made no longer works. So let's just take a look at what we've got and we'll see what that means. So now if I go into this folder that says KSU Scrape in the Python teaching code, I can find this first file called CMS Scrape, and I can come over and I can run Python file, runs it in the terminal, and when I do that it actually shows me, well, at the moment I've got it printing the prettified article here, but if I allow it to print the headline, we'll just do headline for the moment, and I'll do it like that. And I'll rerun it. So let's go down to the bottom here. I will type clear, and that clears the output, and now we'll run it again. And we can see that we got a list of article headlines. And the first one is Python tutorial zip files. Now if I go to this URL, so here I am, I go over here, Python tutorial zip files. Sure enough. So I was able to actually get the information about the articles that are available there, and I got them off of this web page. So that's super cool. Now, if I go over to KSU Scrape, if you watch one of the videos, the older video, and I run it and it works, but if you try running it, it won't work. So when I run it here, it says attribute error, none type object, no attribute text. And it tells me that it was happening in this file I just tried. And so no attribute text. Well, right here on line 10, right here, it's trying to use the text attribute of the requests.get method. It's telling me that it is unable to retrieve content from this URL. Now in the old days it could do that, but now it cannot. So what we really need to do is we need to fix this code. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to go down here, and I will copy this thing. So let's go ahead and copy and paste. And now I'm going to come in and rename it. Oops, no, not delete. I'm going to rename it, and I'm going to call it new. So what am I going to do? I'm going to fix this thing. Because this is a new web page, I now need to go to this news page. So here I am, and I have latest releases. I can see it has a bunch of things, and then down at the bottom it's got different options. If I click on the 10, I can see that's as far as it goes. So that's what I can see. There are 10 pages available here. And these pages, when I go back to page 1, so let me go back and see if I can just force it. I'll go like this. Here's page 1. So what I need to do is I need to fix my parser. And notice I've got the URL here, so that's a good start. So this is where we actually grab the basic content from a web page. All right. At this point, what we're doing on line 12 is we're using the LXML parser to process the web page text content. Like that. okay? And we're storing it in this soup variable. And now down here, we're going to create a CSV file in write mode so we can add content to it. Okay, so right on line 14, this open function, which is built into Python, creates a file. And we're going to name it KSU News. It's going to have the date. So this is date time, produces a format, and it's this right here, this special format string, formats it as a day and a day of the month and a year, and that will be part of the name of our file, and then .csv. So all of this right here is just the name of the file we're going to create, and then this is the mode we're opening it in, which is write mode, and then right here we're going to go ahead and feed this new file to our CSV writer. Now the CSV library imported on line 6 is built into Python, so you get that for free. And so now we're telling our Python code, when we write new stuff, write it to this file. So that's what we're doing. And here we're going to write the header row into our CSV file like that. Now, what's going to happen? We're going to have to figure out why things are crashing. So we've got to do that. We can see here, if I click this, it does open. So down here, when I go ahead and save it and run it, I need to see what's going wrong, what's going right. So that's the process I'm going to go through to fix this thing. So I'll go here and run it again. See what we get. So right now it is not returning my cursor. And so I'm wondering why it's hung. So let me go ahead and crash it out. And let's run it again. Okay. So it's telling me object none type has no text attribute. Maybe we'll try it like this to start with. So let's go ahead and try it again. Okay, response has no length. So we really need it to actually give us the text of the response. So we'll try that again. So if we do dot text, and run it again. Okay, so none type. So it's telling me it's not picking up the content from this URL with my request. Now, why would it not be doing that? Oh, blog post find span text. That's where it's broken. Actually, I'm in the wrong place. So it did get all of that. Where it's failing is right here. So, in that case, why don't we start from above and work our way down, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and comment out all of these remaining items in here. And I'm going to avoid writing a CSV file. So we'll go ahead and comment this out for now. I know that I need to uncomment these ones with a double. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. That way we can just work on getting things right. And then the next thing is we have to find the blog posts again. So this is where I left some of these testing stubs, the development stubs for the process of building this code in the code. So I'm going to uncomment line 19, and you'll see when we run it, we're going to get a big dump of stuff. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to even take these two lines and comment them out. So the only thing that's going to run right now is we're going to go get the web page. We're going to turn it into a soup, which is a product of it's an object from Beautiful Soup, which is a library we imported. And there's a method of the soup object called prettify. And so here, what it's going to do is it's going to show the content of the website we retrieved. And it's doing that so that we can find the unique tags around the content we want. All right, so let's do that, and we'll go ahead and run it. Now when we run this, what the prettify does is it makes it sort of spread out, easier to read, and you notice we got a lot here. So if I scroll all the way up, it's going to start way up here, it's going to go all the way down, and I see the closing HTML tag, so I have the whole thing on here. Now if I come back over, what I'm interested in is here's the title of one story from September 1, 2022. Kennesaw State hosts Campus Safety Days. And I want to see what tags are around that content. So I could look through here one by one. That's the footer. So I'm just sort of looking and faculty staff, that's a link, all of that. If I have a search tool, I can search through here, and let's see if I put in Campus Safety Days, maybe I can find it. There it is. So right here, Kennesaw State hosts Campus Safety Days. Now that is an image alternate name. What I need is I need to see where the title of this article is. It looks like it's right here. It's in the H3 tag, and let's see here if we've got something better. So it looks like we had news releases, and then we have this main area. It's a whole section. Heading is bottom is left, latest releases, blog list loading, that's a class. And then we have our blog. Now each one of these articles, I want to know how they are identified. So they are identified as a list item right there. That is one blog post right there. So that's what I want to know. Okay, now let's scroll this back down. Let's get that right where we want it. And notice, see here, it's looking for an unordered list. That's still fine, but the class is not blog listing. The class for each one of these items looks like blog listing has photo, list item, news. I want to see if there's a unique tag. It looks like this whole thing, this whole blog post, is inside of this class. 2-column has gap is 30. Let's try that. Let's try that. I'm going to put that right there. And then I'll put this right here. We will find one blog post. That's only going to find one because we're not doing find all yet. And we're going to take a look and we're going to print that thing prettified. So we're going to find one, and it should be this campus safety one. and we're going to prettify it and print it again. So I'm going through a process of finding the content and the unique tags around it in the web page. That's how I build my parser algorithm. Let's see here, blog posts. Let's try just searching for is 30. Maybe that's what we want right there. Oh, blog post, none type, soup.find. So it's not finding it in here so far, which means I have to get my design improved. Maybe I have to look inside of an LI for this thing. Let's try that. Okay, still not going. So this is trial and error. Let's see. And run it. Nope. See, when I see none type object has no attribute prettify, it means that it's not finding the blog posts. It's not returning anything into that variable. And here I'm just pulling one post. So if I do here like that, I should actually be seeing something, but I'm not. So it's not finding anything. So if I do list item and save it and run it. Okay, so now it found a list item. And inside of a list item, I wonder if I can do like that. Let's try that. Nope, not good. So let's go back. Now keep in mind what I'm trying to do here is I am trying to get the exact content of a blog post. And I have to identify the unique characteristics of this list. I have to get to the list, and then I have to get to the blog post. And so my list of blog posts is up here. It is right up here. Where's my first one? The first one is Campus Safety Days. It's right here. It might be useful for me to put this in a separate place. So I need to go to the div main, and then I need to go into this thing, probably. So let's do that. Let's see if I can get that. So I'm going to create a new file. Oops. And I'll just paste this in so we can go back and forth to it. That way. And now I could actually, I'll just do this. And then over here, I can put this file. That way we can look back and forth. Okay. So let's try div.main class. Within that, we're going to get the to column. Let's see if that works. So what I'm doing is I'm looking at this and I'm thinking it found a list item, but it found a list item much further up when I ran it a minute ago. It means it found a list. There are lots of lists here. I have to tell it to look for a list inside of, maybe I can do like that, and look for to column, and that'll be, maybe that'll do it. So let's try it like that. Nope. So I may be using the Beautiful Soup 3 library find incorrectly. So let's do that. So Beautiful Soup 3 find element. Find by ID. Let's see. So let's go in here and notice I'm searching. Find, tag name, ID, article body. Okay. I'll go ahead and click that. And works fine. So notice inside of div, I can look for ID, article body. So this is somebody looking specifically. Let's try that with ours. So if I go inside of like this, I can find the ID. So let's go back and get the writing right. So it's going to be curly brackets and ID. And we're going to find main. Right? So the first thing is we're going to get this main section. So that'll get us to this point. And then within that, we actually want to find the UL. So let's see if we can do blog post equals blog post dot find. So we're going to narrow this thing down and we'll search for the, let's find the unordered list, I guess, or the list item, and with the class, so each one of these is going to have this class. Maybe this will work. Put that there, save it. Let's see if we can run a double find. So we're going to get to the main section, and then within the section we're going to do another find and see if that'll get us where we need to be. And it tells me down here blog post.prettify none object. All right, let's see if our first one worked. So I'll comment that out. Let's run it again. Okay, our first one worked. This is good news. So our first one, I'm going to clear this out. So hit clear and let's run it again. Oops, it'll be okay. And if I scroll all the way up, now it's grabbing just this part. But what I really want is I want to go specifically to, I want to get closer in. I want to get closer. So I want to get all the way to here. Log listing has photo. That's probably what I want to find actually. UL class. So let's search for UL and let's go back to the old method. So actually this works. So this one will find the whole main section. This next one will try UL and the class is going to be right here, blog listing. And maybe that will do it. And now let's run it again. Oop, blog post is not defined. Oops, sorry. So this I should be able to just do soup.find. Okay. Let me clear this again so you can see. Let's run it. Okay, we got it. So this time we got just the blog postings. Okay. Now, this piece, the one blog post, we found the whole list. So let's call this the blog list. And then we're going to find all of the blog posts. So we're going to get all of the LI items, all of the list items from this list. And what I'll do, let me take this back up, because what we really did earlier was we just took the blog list. I don't need this one anymore. This was for development. We're past that. So now we've got the list. And now from the list, we're going to get all the posts. And let's just see if we split the blog posts on the list item. Maybe we'll be ready for the next piece, which is this down here. And I'll go ahead and take that out. And then I have to comment this out until I create that later, and the CSV writer. So let's go ahead and do that. We'll fix that later. Okay. And let's see. We're going to be trying to print the title. That's where we'll start. So everything else, let's just do the title. Let's not worry about anything else for now. Just like that. All right, so we're just going to print the title, and we'll print the number here. Now, blog post. The title is going to be different than it used to be. It's not in a thing called blog post. It used to be. It's not anymore. This time, inside of LI, so here's LI. The actual title is right here. Right here. So it's actually going to be inside of H3. So we might be able to just do title equals blog post H3 dot text, and then print it out. So let's see if it works. Let's go down here, and result set object has no attributes. Split. Okay, let's just take that out then. Let's see if we've got, we're going to do a little bit of refining. And we're just going to print the title, the whole title. And we'll just run it. Where did split come in? Oops. Where is split? Do I need to save it? Save. Maybe I didn't hit save earlier. Oh, split. I see. It's up here. Find all LI. Maybe the blog post split is not necessary. Let's see. That was creating a list for us earlier, but we'll see. Okay, look at that. Campus safety days. We didn't increment our counter, so we do need to do that. So I need to come down here actually and end this piece. We don't need an extra line for readability. We can take this out, save it, run it again, and it should increment. Okay, so now we can see that we actually have, it goes, there are 10 different articles. We've found them. And we're finding the titles. So we've got the titles. Super. And it looks like we actually don't need this other bit. We don't need the more fancy stuff from the old method. This works just fine. So the title is in fact being captured, and it is showing up. Now that we know that, we can go ahead and work on the teaser. All right. Now, it looks like in the past we were using the same thing to get the URL, but we no longer are doing that. Over here, we have an image. There it is. we have another image here. We probably can do without that. There's our H3. Here's the date. We need the date. So it looks like the P class in here. It looks like the P class has the date. So the date is going to be blog post dot P dot text. So again, I'm going to take this down. I believe this is no longer relevant in this new format for the web page. The URL we're going to do in a minute. Let's go for the date first. Okay. So we got the title. Looks like we can get the date this way. Blog post and blog posts. And we'll go ahead and print the dates. And let's just see what we get. If we get content, then we know that it worked. We'll print the number down here. I will go ahead and hit clear. I'm refining my algorithm to get it right. Oh, KSU news.close. Oh, I don't need this here. Save that. And maybe the URL will work actually, because we have an A, we have an href. And now it is these safe links. So we'll see how that goes, but we'll just try it. So now we'll run it. And what did we get? We got URLs, we got dates. Looks like that's working. Perfect. Okay. And it looks like the links that are out there somewhere else are getting this safe link thing. The rest of them are okay. And now I've got my information because I've got the URLs working again. I've got the date working again. And so I could go ahead and pick up the news. So I can go back through here. I think I've got that. I don't need to print anything because I'm just going to dump it over to a new CSV file. And I'll hope that that code is still running. So I'll go back over here, create the CSV file, create the header row, and we should see that new CSV file show up here, the September 6th. So we've got one, but it's probably empty. So if I click on it right now, there's nothing there. It's empty. So I'll go ahead and close that and come back over here and save, and let's run it. So I'm going to come over here and run my code. Just title is not defined. So let's go back down. Line 48. Yeah, so we don't need just title. What we need is we just need this title. We don't have source. So maybe we should get the source. They don't say a source anymore, so we're going to take source out. There's no source. So the old format of this page had a source. The new one does not. We're going to go ahead and take that out like that. It's just going to be number, title, URL, date. And number, title, URL, date. Perfect. Okay. And we'll hit save, and we'll come back and run our code. Okay, it ran. I don't know if you noticed that, but it took less than a second. Now I can click over here, and I have a document with a listing of news. I've got URLs. I've got dates. Now the date, I don't know if you noticed, but the date has quotes around it. So I don't like that. I want to fix that. So instead, you'll notice over here we had this date strip kind of thing. So I really want to strip out the quotes from here. I can strip out double quotes by surrounding them in single quotes. So I'll try that like that. and see if that'll get us where we want to be. It's a little bit cleaner. Run it again. Go back down to my file. It's still putting it in quotes for whatever reason, but I think I can probably work with that. I've got 10 articles here. The next thing I would want to do is actually put this in a repeating function so that I could go through. I could keep working on this to get rid of these quotes, and I know I can do it. I just have to take a little while. But you can see how I've fixed this. Now I'm parsing this other web page in the new format so that I can get the news releases. You'll notice too that this is what's happening is it's giving me everything from page 1, but we've got 10 pages down here. We can see that it had 10 different pages. Well, it's easy enough to come over here and just change this to page 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. If we do that, then we can in fact use this very same code. We can put it in a function even, and we can get all of that and put it into one big CSV document really quickly so that we can see all the news. So I'll save that for another tutorial. For now, we've gone ahead and built this new parsing engine, and it's running and it's putting our data into a CSV file. So once again, our KSU scrape is working. Thank you.